What eating grains is actually doing to your body. Here's why you need to pay attention. We're told that grains are heart healthy, that they're full of vitamins and iron, and they'll help us lose weight. But will they? And stick around until the end and we'll see how the FDA is playing in with some of these grain companies. So let's dive right in. What is a grain? Well, you have corn, wheat, rice. Now, there are many other grains, but these are the ones that are commonly used in the American diet, so we'll stick with those. There is actually a lot wrong with grains. Now, if you listen to a registered dietitian, they will tell you that there's a difference between simple carbohydrates and complex carbs. Simple carbs are sugars, and most people can wrap their brains around the fact that if you have too much sugar, it's not good for you. But somehow complex carbs, a grain, is supposed to be really healthy. As it turns out, grains turn to sugar once it hits your stomach, so it's not any better. As a matter of fact, I can make a good argument that it's worse. Here's how. When you eat a simple sugar, say a piece of cake or ice cream, you get what's known as a glucose spike. Your sugar goes way high and then it drops down. We've all had that sugar lull after we have the big giant spike. You've seen kids at birthday parties. They're running around and then all of a sudden they're agitated, they start crying and you have to take them home. A load is a lot different. So remember the spike we talked about? A glycogen load is where the spike goes up, but it doesn't come right back down. And that's why the dietitians tell you it's good for you, because somehow you're getting good, clean, even energy. But is that the truth? I beg to differ. Because once you get that nice load going, your body has to start releasing insulin in order to cover that sugar. And what does that do? It makes us insulin resistant. The other thing it does is it causes inflammation, especially in your gut. And the third thing that happens is when you keep dropping all of that insulin on top of the sugar, it doesn't store it as sugar because we're already saturated with sugar. Your liver has what it needs, your muscle has what it needs, and your blood system has what it needs. So what does it do? It turns that sugar into a long-chain triglyceride. In short, it turns it into a fat, and it stores it as a fat. Not to mention that it causes your triglycerides to go way up. And now you have the beginning of type 2 diabetes. So we've been eating grains for thousands of years. Why would you say we're all of a sudden getting fat now? Well, if you look at it, we started getting fat in the early 80s, and it's only gone up like a hockey stick ever since then. Why did that happen? Well, we started eating way more grains than we were supposed to. Well, what caused that? Well, let's look at the government. We came up with something very brilliant called the food pyramid. And what was right there on the bottom? Something that we should have 6 to 11 times a day? Grains. The entire bottom of the pyramid started off with 6 to 11 servings of grains per day. Now, it only said 6 to 11 servings, but does anyone really know what a serving is? Well, you could go look that up and no one ever does. They just see 6 to 11 servings and it's like, hey, open season on all the grains you want. That was the beginning of the problem. So here's the kicker. Are whole grains better than refined grains? The answer? Yes, slightly better. But here's what happens. The FDA allows the grain companies to actually cut their grains. So you only have to have 51% whole grains. The rest can be refined grains. And you could call it a whole grain product. The consumer does not know the difference. So even though it's slightly better, it's not actually good for you because 49% of those grains are refined grains. If you want to learn more, check out my video, 10 Foods You Should Stop Eating Immediately.